So then, let's look to Romans 7:4 to understand why we read this so many times. We always have to use the same thing because this is the only thing we have. We can't invent anything new. Romans 7:4. It says, therefore, my brethren, you also have become dead to what? You have become dead to the circumcision, the law, correct, right? Law, circumcision. Apply those terminologies. Through what? Through the body of whom? Christ. Who was the body of Christ? Jesus of Nazareth. So then it says that you may be married to another, not of Jesus of Nazareth. So you have to be of whom? Another. And who is that other? The one that was risen from the dead. For what purpose? Because I demand that? No. That you should bear fruit to God. Now, the question is, are you of the other or are you still with Jesus of Nazareth? You notice? There, you've already failed me. You've already failed the exam. You have to take it again. If you're not of the other yet, you are in a spiritual adultery. Your pastor is an adulteress. Your denomination is adulterous because they have two husbands. That's what says Romans chapter 7, verse 1. So you can see that analogy of a marriage that gives this example. I received that 15 to 20,000 people are enlightened, right? Look at what it says. Or are you ignorant, brethren? For I speak to men who know the law, that the law hath dominion over a man for so long he be alive. For the woman who has a husband is bound by the law to her husband as long as he lives. But if the husband dies, she is free from the law, and she won't be called an adulteress. So then, if while her husband lives, she marries another man, she will be called an adulteress. But if he dies, she's no longer called an adulteress. So she unites to another man. She can't be called an adulteress if her husband has passed, right? Why? Now look, I'm saying in the law, you could not be married again. You've seen these Pentecostal men that don't allow for pastors to be married a second time because they're under the law and they can't get married because they're under the law. Because in the law, if you remarry, you are an adulteress. That's why in the Catholic Church they excommunicate people, and they don't allow for them to take part of the Holy Communion because they're under the law. If they were in grace, they would try to unite them and give them an opportunity to remarry again. What's the problem? Perhaps the second or third and fourth matrimony will work, or the sixth one, or like the adulterous woman that had 7 husbands. Well, don't wait to have 7. I hope it works with the second. But that's where this applies in verse 4. After it gives you that analogy of a matrimony, look at what it says. That's why they're in adultery. It says, wherefore, my brethren, you also are become dead to the law by the body of Christ, that you shall be married to another. So what is it telling you? That the context of this is an analogy of matrimony. So it says that you also have died to the body of Christ so that you may be of the other, of the risen one. In English, as it reads here, that you understand the word married, right? It says in English, look at what it says. Wherefore, my brethren, you also are become dead to the law by the body of Christ, that you should be married to another. So you be married to another. So then the calling to the church is that you marry the risen one. So then if you marry the risen one, you cannot continue practicing baptism, holy communions, casting out demons. Because once you're married to that husband is the one that presents you perfect with one offering. That husband is the one that destroyed the devil. That's why they don't want to be married to the risen one. I want them to marry the risen one, but they don't want to. They want to stay in adultery with Jesus of Nazareth. because there's demons. I told a person in Puerto Rico, would you like to attend a church where there's no devil, where you're saved forever and there's no sin? She said no, because she's a masochist. She prefers the devil, sin, and to be lost. No, I don't want a church like that. I want a church where there is curse, where the devil is manifest, where there is hatred and quarrel are manifest. There are people that. So then, if you are still in a church where you have to be baptized with water, if you still go to a church where they pray and they lay hands, you are attending a false church.